I'm the head of marketing for Shadow Partners, and every weekday I bring you short conversations with experts and thought leaders around innovation for the built environment. This week is a little bit different because we are in the middle of a holiday week here in the US, and so this is sort of a best of episode today. This conversation is with Maksim Markevich. He is the co-founder and the CTO of Kreo Software. And if you enjoy this conversation today and you'd like to go even deeper in conversations about AI and automation, about technology for the built environment, anything innovation for the built environment, maybe you should join us in Atlanta this year, October 24th to 26th for the seventh annual Shadow Summit. If you want to know more, go to shadowsummit.com, or if you're watching this on LinkedIn right now, just jump over to the Shadow Summit page here on LinkedIn and find more information. And before we jump into the conversation, let me give one shout out to a couple of our sponsors for this year's Shadow Summit. First, Schneider Electric, and second, the National Institute of Building Sciences. Thanks to both of them for being a big part of the success of Shadow Summit 2023. And if you're interested in getting more exposure and being more involved in conversations with around innovation for the built environment, you want to sponsor the Shadow Summit, or you want to figure out what that even means, reach out to me on LinkedIn. Happy to talk about it. Until then, enjoy this conversation with Maksim Markevich. Hey, welcome back to Shadow Shorts. If we've never met before, my name is Jeff Echols. I am a senior advisor and the head of marketing at Shadow Partners. And our goal every day is to bring the best and the brightest minds who are focusing on innovation in the built environment to you for a very short conversation about one topic every day. And so today I am joined by Maksim Markevich. He is the co-founder and CTO of Kreo Software, and something that he is passionate about. We've been talking for a few minutes backstage before we went live, and I get his passion is just exuding around the ideas of AI, machine learning, automation in the AEC world. So, Maxim, welcome. Thanks for being here, and I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Thank you, Jeff. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to have you here. So I know you focus on a lot of things, but I think probably where we need to start
Okay.
for this conversation, just to lay the foundation for everybody, because there's a lot of information out there, as you told me. What is AI? What is artificial intelligence, and maybe what is it not?
Okay. So it's a complicated topic, especially if we will separate marketing standpoint and engineering solutions, right? But basically, we can pretty much call everything as AI. But actually, I would say that machine learning is the main subset of the AI, and obviously, machine learning field has many other subsets like computer vision, deep learning, generative AI, or NLP, or natural language processing and stuff like that. And this is on one hand, right? And there is also like a simple mathematical optimization. Sometimes people relate it to AI as well. And when I say math optimization, I actually mean things like like single objective optimization or multi-objective optimization, maybe dynamic programming or combinatorial optimization or linear programming or constraint optimization or many other things. So I would separate those topics. So we have ML, we have mathematical optimization, and depending on what our goal, we can call all of that AI, or we can call some of that AI. Yeah.
That is complicated, and obviously there are applications all across the board for these different sets and subsets of AI and machine learning. Uh, what what are you most passionate about, or what are you most interested in right now as all of these topics sort of apply to how we're designing, how we're building, how architects are using it, contractors for construction, engineers, et cetera? What's top of mind for you?
I would say I'm a kind of problem solution driven person. So I'm rarely trying to use kind of all the new technologies which is available. We try, and especially in Creo, we actually trying to start from a problem definition in the industry, and then we actually try to define which technologies suit the solution for this potential for this problem basically. I would say I'm quite passionate about building design automation topic, and for this specific one, basically we do generate building designs, and I would say that we reformulate any generation problems as discrete or continuous optimization problems. And obviously then to solve the results and optimization problems, we use various methods and approaches. Like we can use like greedy algorithms or dynamic programming or linear programming, or constrained and mixed integer programming. And basically those are more related to mathematical optimization. But at the same time, and it's important to mention that it's a mathematical optimization because we need quite accurate results, and we need quite like healthy outputs in a 100% of cases, right? And but also there are many other places where we use, for example, machine learning, especially for our quantification and cost estimation software, which is Creo main software. At the moment, we use like computer vision, and also we use convolutional neural networks for segmentation and classification of footprints, like spaces, walls, doors, and windows. So basically, we reading customers' PDFs with floor plans and try to understand what that data is in there, and basically to show this data to the customer. I would say I'm passionate about problems and solutions rather than specific technologies. So yeah, that's the answer.
No, it makes sense, right? I
Yeah.
have a graduate class that I teach is sort of an incubator type
Mhm.
process, and the very first night we talk about the problems that you see around you. What's a problem that you see that you think needs to be solved? And that to
Yep.
me makes a lot of sense, right? That's how we can drive innovation forward. Um,
Absolutely. Yeah.
the when we think about what's happening, maybe the most innovative things that are happening in design and construction in the AEC world, um, where are those solutions? I mean, the problems are all around us. So where are the solutions coming from? Who's coming up with the solutions?
I mean, different people. It's. I would say there are many people from industry. We see in the past, I would say 5 years, we see how many industry specialists they were kind of change their roles towards like people responsible for actually building solution rather than designing buildings or like doing quantification and cost estimation. So uh, I think that's a fair route, taking into account that people who understand really well the problems, they can actually come up with the best solutions. But at some point we also like, especially when we have um, like a new technologies like we have right now, generative AI, large language models, all this stuff, right? So we definitely need also people like professionals, people who understand them really well, people who can help us to find the applications of those technologies as well. So yeah, I would say it's a mixed combination of different stories and backgrounds, which is amazing in my mind. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. And I think, one of the things that I'm always curious about is, and I know that Creo has developed a number of software products, that are sort of under the banner of Creo, or have been under the banner of Creo. And I'm always curious, we can create a solution to a problem, or come up with a solution to a problem, and that
Mhm.
may mean that we're creating a boutique solution
Oh yeah.
to that one problem, right? And then I start to wonder, if I'm an engineering firm or a construction firm or an architecture firm, do I want do I want a tech stack of a bunch of boutique solutions, or do I want one of the big players to have some of these a growing number of solutions as plugins maybe to their larger solution? Do you ever consider that?
Yeah, I think it's a good point, and in my mind, it's not so important like whether you have one unique big solution or like many other different solutions, as long as you pick the best solution for your job. So
Sure.
every
Yep.
I think every firm they have a lot of they have many different jobs, and their technology stack is fully defined by their basically jobs. So this is why we can see, like for example, architectural firms and architects in general. I think those are industry players that have the most diverse list of different software products in their back pocket. You know, simply because
Mhm.
they have different jobs, and for different jobs they use different solutions. And even I would say, talking about our new things like generative AI or like mid journey, right? So I can see that already there are many architects who started to implement those solutions in their ideation process, which is amazing. I would say that in our industry, architects front end power of all this kind of new things, and they don't hesitate to try them, to to play around, to come up with good ideas. And yeah, that's, I would say, you just pick a solution that works the best for your job, unless you have some corporation culture, which you cannot cross.
Well, that's yes, that is a reality, definitely a reality for a lot of people in the industry. So as you look out, right, we're basically at the middle of midpoint of 2023 at this point. As you look towards the end of 2023 and 24, um, where do you see the AI, the generative design, the machine learning? What do you see on the horizon as it applies to the AEC world?
Oh, that's a great question. I like it. So I would say, I think the fun thing is that until quite recently, we all believed that self-driving machines would appear faster than systems capable of creative work, right? So we all believe that computer vision and robots are easier than something that generates, like crazy ideas. And basically, I would want just to point back to the mass optimization versus machine learning stuff. So, and I just wanted to emphasize once again that all technologies are great until they have problems to solve, and that's the main thing in my mind. And obviously, when you need precision, accuracy, efficiency, you use math optimization. When you need creativity, pattern recognition, prediction, maybe handling large data sets or adaptability, you probably will use machine learning stuff. But the main thing is that, answering on your question about where it leads us, it's quite interesting, because what we see today is that, I will grab a couple of examples. For example, architects, they use quite actively Midjourney for idea generations, and I saw many architects that actually start from those ideas, and so it's funny, they use AI or ML in order to generate ideas, and then they craft those ideas, they model them by themselves manually,
Mhm.
and they even make it parametrical, and then they kind of move it further to the flow, to the design flow, right? Which is kind of, it was a change from how it was before. Like before, like they come up with ideas, and then they go and try to code how to actually create this model. So right now it's a bit different, and I think it will improve definitely ideation process a lot. On another side of things, obviously, these large language models like ChatGPT, they also quite impressive. So, for example, I personally, I do use it every day on my daily basis for various tasks, and I think it's amazing. What's cool in AEC specifically is that people started to try to apply those things to, for example, compliance workflows, or like a specific, when you need to have a knowledge base and you need to ask a specific questions. It seems like a perfect implementation of large language models, because I mean, obviously, it might be expensive to build such a model, and there are a bunch of ways how you can build it, and I probably will not dive in this one during this short conversation. But the thing is, like, there is an opportunity in this direction to definitely leverage the technology in order to improve the compliances with different regulations and building norms. I'm not saying even like something which will validate your designs, but at least something you can ask questions and you can actually gather data fairly quickly. I think another perfect implementation, which we're actually working on with our solar design automation software, is that we I think the perfect implementation of large language models in analyzing historical project data, because again, it's a huge dump of unstructured data, and apparently large language models show their great capabilities of kind of working with unstructured data and giving us some insights about that data. Yeah. So I would see this cases as the most kind of soon coming.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. And that makes sense. I mean, these are the problems that are before us, and here are solutions to those problems as we start to encounter them. Those are great insights. If you want to know more, if you're watching either live or in a replay version of this, if you want to know more about what Maxim and his colleagues are working on at Creo, the URL is in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen right now, Creo.net. Like I said, there are right there. There are a number of products under that umbrella, and they're all really exciting. So go check out Creo.net. And one thing that I would ask of you is that here at Shadow Partners, we're continually doing research. My colleague Manav is a research junkie. He's always he's got a whole list of surveys and research and white papers that he's working on, and he recently published a survey as part of his research on AI and machine learning in AEC. So if you are in the AEC world and you have some opinions about how AI and machine learning are used or going to be used, and specifically how you're using it or think you're going to be using it, that's a pretty complicated URL. I should have used a shortener there, but the URL to that survey is in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen right now as well. I won't even read that off to you. It's too many letters to understand, but do a screenshot or pause and type that into your browser window and help us out with that AI and machine learning research for AEC. So that's a survey that's live right now and will be for quite some time. If you're watching this in a time shifted format, that's fine. Just go ahead and go to that URL and participate in the research. And one final thing, if conversations like this interest you, obviously this is very short form. It's called Shadow Shorts. It's going to be 10 or 15 minutes long. If you like conversations like this and you want to go deeper, one thing that you need to know is that our 7th annual Shadow Summit is coming up this year in October. Opens on the evening of October 24th, which is a Tuesday, runs through the 26th. One of my colleagues described Shadow Summit as a time to really geek out on conversations like this. These are not conversations that you'll find at other conferences. This is jumping into a conversation about AI, machine learning, generative design, and going deep into that topic, and obviously other topics as well. So if you really want to go deep on some of these innovation in the built environment topics, Shadow Summit is for you. We're continually updating that website now at shadowsummit.com. You can find more information. You can apply to be accepted to attend that. So shadowsummit.com is the place. And our CEO, KP Reddy, described Shadow Summit 2023 in this way. He said, Shadow Summit will be a Cliff's Notes version of everything that's happened in innovation for the built environment in 2023 and a preview, the things that you need to be planning for, the things that you need to be budgeting for in terms of innovation in 2024. So shadowsummit.com is the place to go to find out more about that. We'll be rolling out a schedule and speaker list here very, very soon. I think maybe even at the beginning of next week. So look for that at shadowsummit.com. And I think that's all of my laundry list of things I had to talk about. Maxim, um, we could spend hours and hours on this conversation, and I really appreciate you just giving us a little bit of a snippet here. It's really exciting. Really love what you're doing, and appreciate you sharing your insights on this. It's been fantastic.
It's been fantastic. Thank you for having me here. So it's amazing, Jeff. Continue
Absolutely.
doing what you're doing. It's impressive. Yeah.
It's just me listening to people talk. That's all it is. So,
You organize all that shit.
yeah, I just push it along a little bit. And again, if you want to know more about Maxim and Creo, go to creo.net and reach out to Maxim on LinkedIn. He and or myself, we're both active on LinkedIn. You can find us there, and I'm sure we'd be happy to have further conversations with you. So with that, thank you to all of you out there watching and listening. Thanks, Maxim, for this. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you Monday for our next Shadow Short.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Have a lovely day.